tribute to our missing brother Theus, we're going to skip to one of the things that me and him pretty much don't ever agree on. Collective illusion, work.
Ever since the 1930s, the bargain has been give up autonomy, give up any kind of control, give up the expectation that work would be fulfilling, and just do what we tell you to do. That system fundamentally distrusts people, and we're living with those systems today. But what's changed is people are no longer willing to be cogs. They're just not. Our priorities for work as an American public have changed. Work doesn't have to be a devil's bargain. Our most recent work is the American Workforce Index. We didn't just ask people what they wanted, we asked them to make difficult choices, trade-offs, across 60 different possible priorities for work. And not surprisingly, when we asked people what most people would say, they ranked a prestigious job as being the 5th most important priority for everybody else. To have your job be viewed as prestigious. That sounds like something people want, right? It's what we chase. But in private, it actually ranks number 55 out of 60. People want to work at places that give them free food and swag, and it's a prestigious organization where I have a prestigious title, where I can make a best friend at work. The things that we are told over and over again go into making a good work culture. In reality, those are some of the least prioritized things for the majority of workers in America today. To the extent that leadership of companies are under these illusions, they will continue to incentivize and design environments that are no longer a very good fit to the true trade-off priorities of the workforce. What people want is work to be a positive part of the rest of their life. They want to be trusted to be able to make decisions about how they do their work. And they are expecting more meaning and purpose in their work. The thing that will hold us back from a good life rather than just working to work are these illusions that keep pulling us back to conformity to something for which the group no longer actually values. We all don't have to quit our job and go somewhere else to find fulfillment, that it is closer than we think. And a lot of it is just subtle changes, particularly around giving more control to employees, trusting them more, listening to the things they care about. From an individual standpoint, it means having a conversation with your supervisor, talk about what matters to you. Your silence will only diminish the willingness of the employer to actually make the changes that most people actually want to see. It's okay to have the conversation. Work absolutely can be a part of a fulfilling life. Most companies need to see that it is not risky, that you can trust employees, that you can work hard to create a good fit for more people, and that the result is not chaos, and it does not come at the cost of productivity and profit, just the opposite.
I was talking to one of my IT friends, just to piggyback on something that he said earlier in the show. I was talking to one of my IT friends and was reading a forum about it. He pointed me towards a forum to read. And they was always saying about, well, are you sure you want to get into IT? Because IT, they'll drop you like a bad habit. They'll leave you and blah, 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 and everything else. And one of the guys piped in and said, you do realize that the people that they usually let go in IT are the ones that's not growing anymore? And it was like, what do you mean? It's like, IT is one of those fields where they constantly want you to learn something. And if you get into that business and you settle on one thing and go in and everything else, yeah, you're probably the first people on the chopping block. Because they want the ones where they're giving you free education, by the way. But if you're not going in there to learn something brand new, no, they're not going to keep you. I think that's what he was saying, to be comfortable with your supervisor, to go in there and go, hey, you know what? I want to go here, 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 here. Do you have a path towards that? Now, really reality speaks that there are companies that's just like, okay, we don't want you to stay in the same place. We want you to grow. Here is the path. You have to work this path. If we see that you don't want to work this path and you're at where you at, okay, fine. We're not going to fire you, but stop coming in here talking about you want a big high raise and everything else because, hey, we gave you something. You're not doing it. Also, the other side of reality, the ugly side of reality that has a 30, 40, 50-year head start. That going to your supervisor saying that you want to move up in the company means if you're one of those employees who's dependable and loyal and liable, then they're also going to look at you as if, oh, this guy's finna quit. And it's amazing to me because managers always go, not only is he going to quit, he's going to quit in the middle of his schedule and leave me high and dry. So I better get rid of him now and everything. In other words, it's just the same like when you go to those type of supervisors and say that you want to move up, you're painting a target on your back. And it's a little arrogance coming to it too, by the way. A little arrogance coming to it because you can't tell certain employees you are unhappy. How dare you be unhappy working here? If you're not happy, then that's you. That's not us. It's toxicity that we're trying to get away from in the work area. It's going to take a while. It's going to take a lot longer than we think it is. We're seeing brushes of it now. Thank goodness. And I'm going to tell you this quick story real quick to tell you how things have changed. And I'm going to let the ladies take over. It was one of them about the a-hole stories. And the guy, everybody called him an a-hole. He understood and he changed. So we're not going to jump on the guy, okay?
Okay.
But the guy was saying that he don't like how his girlfriend is job hunting. And the reason he didn't like how his girlfriend was job hunting was because his girlfriend, how he felt, was being very picky at the jobs that she was interviewing for. So it's like she would go through 2-3 interviews like, no, this is not a good fit, and move on to the next job. 2, 3, 4 interviews. Nope, I don't want the 5th interview because this is not going to be a good fit. And so, and he's just dumbfounded, like, how are you turning what is wrong with you? Do you not want to work? Do you not? And she was like, no, I have such a prestigious degree and experience. I can pick what job I want. I don't have to take the first thing that comes my way. But in his defense, he didn't understand that. He didn't understand that. That's not how he grew up. His whole deal was you go, you get you a job, you work your way up in the company and everything else. That's how he grew up. And his girlfriend was saying, no, that's not how it is now. I hold the line to where I want to work. It's like, no, you being unrealistic. And she said something I'll never forget. It was so cool what she said. You're not afraid. You're not scared. This is not how the real world works. You're gonna burn yourself out, and you're gonna ostracize yourself to that thing. She was like, well, if that was the case, why are they still calling me? And he was like, well, other companies are calling you. She's talking about, no, the same companies that I turned down are still calling me, asking me for another interview. That's how I know I'm on the right track. And of course, he wrote it. Everybody said, "Do you a-hole? You don't know what you're talking about." He came back and go, yeah, you're right. I'm thinking old school and everything else. I need to be more supportive of there. But my point of the matter is, we have to start getting to the point, and the COVID shutdown showed a glimpse of it. Oh my goodness, we can't even get people to work at McDonald's. It doesn't make any sense and blah, blah, blah. You can't even get people to work and everything else. You can't even get... I wonder why, bro. I wonder why. Even the ones who had the argument of, I can't believe people would rather be on unemployment and stay home than work. Yeah, let me say that to you in a different way. How bad is your job where people will rather stay home on unemployment than work for you? Now do you catch how toxic your company was and you was just getting away with it so much because people needed to work for you in order to pay their bills? Now they don't have to work for you to pay their bills and they can go and do, God forbid, they have a choice and they didn't choose you.
What was it, that one guy who worked for Burger King for like all of his life, and
Never
they
missed a
gave him
day.
a
Yeah, never missed a day. Yeah.
gift basket or
They
something?
gave him a gift basket with candy and a
No,
Starbucks
both
gift card.
no, both of y'all are wrong.
Women, they
They
gave him
gave
some.
they gave him a clear bag
Oh yeah, clear bag.
of candy. One. Sorry, keep that in mind. One movie ticket.
Right, only one.
One movie ticket, and it was like, yeah, that's what this is. We have to change the. We have to be able to make our choices.
Yep.
Why do you think they don't like unions? They really don't like unions in whatever they say because they don't want you to have a choice in how work environment is. Why? Because it works great for them.
Yeah, it's control. It's
They don't
control.
have an argument with it. They're fine.
It's like
I've
these
seen a lot of
jobs.
unions go bad though,
Yeah, yep, a lot of
It
unions.
does.
But in unions' favor,
but
you
I'll
see,
always support them.
yeah, I see like the demands for some employers to have employees come back to office. For what? For what? There are some jobs. Now there are some jobs you have to come in. Nursing, firefighter, those type jobs. You
Hey,
have to
Diaz.
come in. Hey, this. But some of these jobs like call center, uh, IT work, uh, I'm trying to think of some other ones. You don't. There's no point in going to an office where you're liable to catch something because they're paying a high lease amount. Nobody told you to do that. That's on you.
It,
But if they like the job, Parker, maybe they like the job. Like that guy at Burger
here's
King,
the
he
deal.
loved his job. He loved it.
Hmm.
People don't quit jobs. They quit managers.
They sure do.
I done heard way too many stories, way too many stories of people who, no matter what the job is, it's working. They got the formula down, everything is going straight. This is how we do it. The job gets done and everything else. And always they have a new manager comes in and no. It just doesn't look like you're working hard enough. So I'm going to change this. Why? Give me a good reason why you would change absolutely anything if it was working.
Hmm.
The job was getting done. No, because that's dominance. You got to set your precedence. So if you can get your job done in 5 hours, all your work done in 5 hours. No, because we're paying you for 8.
Yeah, we're paying you for 8.
Technically, you're paying me to do a job, and I'm doing the job. That's what it is. So sorry that you gave me a job that I can do in 5 hours. Now, if you want me to be a butthole about it, I can spread this 5-hour job over 8 hours.
Yep, just
and
go
I'm
real
still not
slow.
gonna work 8 hours. But you can't get both. You can't all of a sudden work IT and then, well, you got the job done in 5 hours, so go clean the bathroom. So I can get something out of you.
You did get something out of me. The 5 hours I did of IT work.
Everyone's job can and won't be fun. How replaceable are your skill set if you do low specialty work? There will be plenty of replacement. A big problem is how business treat their employees. Exactly.
Yep, sure is.
Exactly. People have no problem doing something what Parker was saying. People have no problem doing those undesirable works. They really don't. Believe it or not, there are people who love working fast food. Don't know why, but apparently I'm not one of those people. But there are people who love fast food. There are people
The
who love,
people that they get to interact with every day, they're
yeah.
people.
There are people who flip. Believe it or not, there are people who love to go back there and flip burgers because they're not people person. They go, they do their job, they get out. This is their way of getting out of it in their mindset of getting away from everything because they have a niche thing to do: flip burgers, fry the fries, everything else. Do the same thing over and go home. They're just not people person, and they love their job. Truck drivers, they love their job. People do not quit jobs; they quit management. Period. Let them do their job. Let them do it the right way. So I'm not saying let them get away with anything. Obviously, if they're not doing the job at a very good rate, training, coaching, okay, this ain't the job for you. Somebody told me a long time ago, and I'll give them credit for actually saying something right for the first time ever. Every job ain't made for everybody. It's just the way it is. That toxic thing of go and work and gun hold it. Every job is not made for everybody. Sometimes it's not. But if you go out of your way to try to make it as hard and as tough and as more undesirable, using Parker's word, than it really needs to be, they're not quitting the job. The job wasn't hard. They just don't want you above them telling them what they can do better than better that they was doing. They're doing better. They doing great. They doing wonderful. They don't need you to make any changes. Sit back, relax. And the smartest managers are the ones who sit back, relax, and watch the money come in. Why should I change anything? It's working. They're happy. Cool. The other story that I remember was a guy who, again, worked great, worked wonderful, blah, 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 got a new manager who micromanaged, who was just a butt. And every time somebody quit, she would throw, because it was something that this guy triggered when he was saying, oh, we'll just give you some food here and there, or give you a $10 gift certificate to a store that you ain't never shopped in and never will, or something like that. So the lady, every time somebody quit because of her, she would throw a pizza party. That's to smooth things over. So the guy just had enough of her. He found a new job and he put in his 2 weeks notice. The lady, being all frustrated anyway, told him, okay, I understand, but do me a favor, don't tell anybody that you quit. Well, the guy don't like the lady, but he said, okay, I won't tell nobody that I quit. So as soon as he walked out the door, he told everybody, hey, y'all, guess what? We're going to have a pizza party soon.
He didn't lie.
So, see,
He kept his word.
He kept his word. Depending on the nature of the job, if you have a task job, then you work till the shift end.
Yes.
You do projects, then you work until the project is done. Some days will be short, and others long for project workers. Yeah. A lot of project. Yes, I totally agree. If it was given to you that way, if you're given projects to handle in a certain amount of time, but again, things we understand that these projects that's being taken care of has been taken care of, but they're not looking at some management are not looking at the projects. Some are still looking at the hours.
What about the laws of you're not allowed to work a certain amount of hours?
Nobody cares about them.
You can work over your regular hours,
Yeah,
and
because
start
what
being
they'll do,
overtime. What you go against the law is working overtime and not getting paid for it.
yeah, and they get around that by having salary workers. There's hourly workers that get paid $7.25 an hour, and then there's those salary workers. They're expected to work well past their time, but they're only getting
Yeah.
that set amount of money.
Exactly.
That's how they get around that.
What you confused on, Anna?
My internet went out halfway through that.
Oh,
I didn't hear half of what you said, so sorry.
to get the only thing that is against the law is if you work overtime and don't get paid for it. So what Tracy was saying was
There's
that
no kind of protection of like your boss wants you to work for 24 hours? You do that?
Technically,
honestly, no. It's not.
I mean, technically,
It is when you are a child, when you're under a certain age. Yeah, there's because you can only work a certain amount of hours if you're a teenager. Technically, once you turn 18, no, there's no
but
law that's
there's
talking about
no,
that.
there's
You-
no,
Wow.
there's no company that's
So
gonna
I
work
am
you.
not in the workforce. I am disabled, have been since I was early 20s, right?
if they pay for it, they can do it.
Yep, but it's unlikely that they're going to schedule you 24 hours straight
Yeah,
because that means your paycheck is going to be so low. They're going to be like, no. What they
yeah,
usually try
they're
to do
not
is
gonna do it.
schedule you for less. They don't try to schedule you for more. Nah, they're not going
So,
to do it.
okay, so you've been out for a while. So overtime is basically if you get paid $5 an hour, cents. Let me do cents because it's easier to do. Once you make over 40 hours, and in some cases 37, it depends on the job. But if you make over 40 hours, then you get paid time and a half, which means you're no longer being paid $6 an hour. You're getting paid 6, 7, 8, 9, 50 an hour for however many hours you've worked over 40 hours. So what Tracy was saying was, yeah, they can make you work 24 hours, but they're not going to pay you at that time and a half rate.
Sure won't.
Like it's not going to match up to what they want.
Yeah, because if you make $7.50, time and a half is like $14 and something. Nah, they're not going to do that.
They're not going to do
Okay,
that.
It's
so
like they're paying you almost twice what you make an hour if you go over a certain amount.
Now, what Tracy was also saying, which is true, is there is a way around paying overtime. And all they got to do is say, you're now salary.
Yep.
I think she's frozen again. Yep, because ain't no way nobody can not blink that long. It's no way in the world. There are some laws that say you have to get a break if you work a certain number of hours, and also if you're under 18, you can't work more than a certain. Yes, you have to get. There is a law that says you have to get a 15-minute break every 2 hours, 30-minute lunch every 4 hours. You got to have a break in the lunch. Ask me how I know because I actually worked with a guy, Tracy, at a convenience store that said that's not a law. I don't have to give you a break or a lunch. Dude was straight up serious too. It was his way of daring us to look that law up. But he flat out said, I don't have to give you a break. I don't have to give you a lunch. That's not a real law. Then come to find out, dude, that is a law. It's always been a law. So the 8 hours of standing on our feet was literally 8 hours standing on our feet.
And y'all did it. Boy,
And we did it. There are some laws that vary by industry, though. Yeah. That's why I'm saying is that some of overtime is 40 hours, some is 37 and a half. I have no idea about the 37 and a half. I've never dealt with that.
And some companies, i.e. Walmart, they'll schedule you for like 40 hours 1 week because they know they pay every 2 weeks. But to get around paying benefits, they'll schedule you 20 hours the following week. So they always keep you under 80.
That's why we have to change the industry. But let's move on to the next controversy thing. Oh, wow, we're literally at 30 minutes. Man. All right, let's go on to the next controversy thing. Oh, and I'll be back, y'all. Be right back. Got the reboot. Yep. And I'll be back. So